Prison Lee, here to answer all your questions about buying houses. Internet world, I mean TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. All you guys out there, ask your questions about buying houses. Give us your scenarios. If you have a credit score that you think may not qualify, ask us. If you have income you think may not qualify, ask us. If you don't think you have enough money saved for down payment, let's talk about it. There's a lot of questions that people have on a daily basis when it comes to buying houses. A lot of people are confused because I heard about this program. I heard we can't do that anymore. People, buying houses is not as difficult as it may seem. You may not be ready to buy a house, but give us your scenario and we will let you know where you stand and the probability of you buying. Okay, guys, we see lots of files every single day. We see credit every day, income, self-employed, employed, new job, old job, all the scenarios that you can think of. Load up that chat box with all your questions, comments, concerns. Let us know your exact scenario. We are going to answer all of it. And guess what? We'll let you know what's going on with interest rates, where we're at and where we think we're headed. Because if you want to buy a house, you need the data, and you can get the data right here. And if you haven't already, follow us. Follow our page that you're watching, and you'll see videos littered about scenarios, about people, and about their situations. So where do you stand? Let us know. What do you got, Finance Man?
Well. From the finance perspective, things don't look so good. I mean, they're not looking so good. The CPI and PCE, they're not coming in as we kind of wanted them to, and I think what's going to happen is they're going to say, hey, we were in a recession, which we kind of already know. And they're still, the odds are good for the September cut, which means rates go down. They're going to go down. The sad part is that even though they go down, they're not going to go down a lot. My opinion. I could be wrong. I'm usually not, but who knows? So if they go down, I think we're going to see 25 basis points because they've kind of stabilized the market and they're trying to get everything back in tow. Now, National Association of Realtors just put out, I think last night, that housing prices have increased. Overall, we've got the highest prices across the nation as of last night. And I was sitting there going, this is insane. Because I see the people, and I know I qualify less and less people every single year. On the West Coast, it came in at 674, something like that. Guess it's close. On the East Coast, 574, guess. In the Midwest, 4s, and then in the Central, 374. So the lowest overall was 374. How much income do you need to get a 374 house?
About 90, 80K, in that range.
What, does the average person make 90K across America based off of your decision? Based off of yours?
Person? No. Not a single person.
If you have a family, sure, maybe. But if they do bring in 90K, do they usually have a car payment?
Yeah.
Almost every single time, right?
$800 a month at least.
Well, I was watching Patrick Bet-David, who's amazing, because he really has a good way of assessing things. He's a little up there in the world, so he doesn't really know, doesn't know what a gallon of milk costs, because he doesn't buy his own milk, I don't think.
He doesn't buy his own milk?
I don't think so. I think he's got someone who does that for him. But anyway.
Ronnie, how you doing, Ronnie?
What's up, Ronnie?
Ronnie said he's graduating college student. He wants to buy right after, starting a new job post-school. Would I have to wait or offer letter work?
Ronnie, if you're getting a degree, and here's the key, you have to have the degree. So if you have the degree, let's just say you went for engineering, and you got a degree in engineering, and it took you 4 years, 2 years, 6 years, at least 2 years. So you got 6 years for engineering, man. Yeah, that's a badass. So you got a degree in engineering, and then now I'm walking around with this degree, and ABC Engineering Company says, hey, I really need an engineer. I'll pay you $140,000 a year, guaranteed. And you show me that $140,000 a year and that degree, before you even start, I can get you qualified. I can send you shopping. I won't be able to close until you get that first paycheck. But I can send you shopping, and we can start moving right now. Right now. When? Right now.
Yep. We're going to answer all your questions, guys, so just hang in there. We're going to get to every single one of you. And Tony Bowles, I see 2,000 likes already. Tony Bowles is the reason.
Tony Bowles is in the house. What's up, Tony Bowles? Great to see you.
Okay, user 8168. How can one get set up an appointment to get a pre-approval?
That's real simple. User 18168. Just give us a call. We're here today, tomorrow, Friday, not on Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes. If you're like, hey, I am working from 9 to 9 every single day. I only have Saturday available. One of us will make the time.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you just call us. We'll get there.
Right. What would the current interest rate be for a 30-year ass TikToker?
TikToker? Man, you just pigeonholed yourself. You're not an Instagrammer. You're not a Facebooker. You're not even a YouTuber. You're a TikToker.
What's going to happen if the government takes it away from us?
I don't know. TikToker. Go with them. So TikToker, if you went to our website right now, you would see that a VA 30 years at 5.75%. What? 5.75. You'd see an FHA 30 year. 5.75. Wait, what? Yeah, 5.75. Then a 15-year conventional. 5.75. They really like that number, 5.75. And then you'd see a 30-year conventional at 6.25. But here's a little trick, TikToker. That is not an offer to lend. That's not a quote to you. That is what New American Funding is putting out to the world. If you don't believe me, go to our links at the top of our bio. Go to Cool Stuff, Today's Rates. You'll see what I'm looking at right now. However, if you really want to know the world, I'll look at 5.75 on an FHA 30-year fixed, and I'll say, all right, 5.75 sounds amazing. APR, 6.96. Whoa! That's almost a 1.25 spread in an APR. What? That means you're buying it down. So there's catches to all that, but if you want to know what New American Funding is putting out right now, 5.75. If you want your quote, real simple. Give us a call. We'll put your credit, calculate your income, build your file. We'll give you your quote.
Yeah, user 8168 said I already sent you a private message. Don't depend on that. We get thousands of them. Thousands, and it'll get buried. So do me a favor. Yep. Text one of these two phone numbers.
No, text us.
Text us right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a couple seconds to screenshot this, and then text us your name. Let us know that you're interested, and we'll reach back to you when we're done. Okay, guys?
And user 8168. Only do it if you're really ready, if you really want to go. Because if you're like, hey, I just want to know, I'm going to say, hey, the next thing I'm going to say is, all right, cool, let's get this thing moving. I'm serious. If you're serious, I got to pull your credit. If the next line is, well, I don't know if I really want to pull my credit, don't waste your time, don't waste my time.
Or can you do a softball?
Can you do a softball? Don't waste your time, don't waste my time. Because if you're serious about getting a house, we're the guys you want.
Yeah.
If you're just going, I was wondering if maybe in a hypothetical world where I make $250,000 a year and I have $250,000 in the bank, could I afford $1 million house? All right, what do you make? Well, I currently make 40 and I don't have any money in the bank. All right, let's not play. Because we'll help you get that house. I will give you every single tool possible. But the minute I know it's not a real deal, I'll be like, hey, your credit's too low. Here's what you do. Go fix it. Call me when you're ready. The minute you say, I don't want to do a credit pull, I'll say, hey, you know what's great talking with you. No doubt about it. I'm going to put you in our files. When you're ready, call me, and I am going to pull your credit. Till then, yeah. So that happens.
Yeah. Magnets Plus said, do I see mortgage insurance? Do I see zero mortgage insurance? I don't know. Where are you looking?
I don't know what you're talking about, Magnus Plus. Zero mortgage insurance. Zero MI. Oh, I think Magnets Plus went to our link, went to our website, found New American Funding, and said zero MI, which means 20% down. I think that's what Magnets Plus is talking about on the 5.75. So if you're on conventional, you get zero, it means you put 20% down. If you're FHA, you always have mortgage insurance.
Yeah. Slyona, thank you for the love. Ronnie, it has to be in that field. Gotcha. That's the one who went to school.
Yep.
Lacrosse, how do I seek without husband permission? Question mark, question mark, question mark. How do I sell without husband permission? That's what she was saying.
Lacrosse, that's a legal question. First off, do you own it as your sole and several property as a married woman? I'm going to assume you're a woman. So do you own it as your sole and several property? Because if you own it together and you're trying to sell it, that's dirty. That's straight dirty birdie. Yeah, not so simple.
Yeah. Ronnie said, awesome, cool. Adam said, clown face, clown face, clown face, clown face. I don't know what that means. User 8168, I would like to set up an appointment to get a pre-approval. Where can I go to your office?
Do you know our address off the top of your head?
180.
I think it's 11820
Oh.
Pierce. Yeah, I think it's 11820 Pierce Avenue, Suite 200. So Riverside, California. So if you want to come to our office anytime, you'll see New American Funding. And if you have one of them really, really high-tech, unbelievably high-tech situations called Google Maps, just put New American Funding Riverside. It'll come up every time.
Or if you have even one of those more high-tech ones called the internet, you can do everything over the phone or online.
Whatever.
Whatever you want to do, user 8168. Boss man say, how about paying cash?
Boss man, I think that's what you do. That's why you call it boss. Yes, do it. All day, do it. Don't stop. Don't question it. Don't wonder if it's a good idea. Just drop $750,000 right now. Do it. You're the boss.
Why are you limiting yourself? $750? A little tiny baby house.
That was just for the mother-in-law house.
That's boss man.
A boss man?
That's boss man.
You think he wants like a $3 million house? Higher? Well, Orange County, you can't get out. You get a shack for $3 million on the beach. Shit, you're poor. At $3 million, poor on the beach, poor. Boss man.
I do got a buddy living in Newport paying a little bit of money.
A little bit of money. You call that a little bit of money. Yeah. So, boss man, if you want to buy a house in Newport for $8 million, that's probably right. Get a decent house for $8 million.
Cash.
Boss man, drop that cash, man. Drop that cash. Don't wait.
Nicole's 203. What's the highest interest rate as a first-time home buyer?
Nicole, how high do you want to go? I'll make it happen.
You're the boss. We'll go as high as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Doing
Nicole, there's
pre-pulls?
laws. There's actually laws that say you can only charge within this range, and the range hovers all the time, and it goes. So it's just going to depend on your income, your FICO score, and your assets, your overall profile. But there's a range, and if you charge too much, if the bank charges too much, they actually get fined. And there's something called an HPM, which is a high price mortgage, which means the fees have exceeded a tolerance level, and it turns into a whole different loan, and the bank get reported to the government or something like that.
Yeah. But the highest I've seen lately, 7.625.
Yeah.
In that range. Emily, so so many loans being pulled from closing today for the FEMA disaster inspection. What area? Is that Houston?
Emily's in the biz. Emily's in the biz.
Was there a storm recently or a fire?
Yeah. Well, what happens? Okay, so this has happened to us a couple of times. We're in San Bernardino County and Riverside County. So both of those counties we work a lot of because we actually go out, meet realtors, take them to lunch and stuff. So we were funding all of these. We had like maybe 7 loans going at one time, and then we had this fire that went through San Bernardino County Mountains, San Bernardino County Mountains,
From
and
LA
LA.
to San Bernardino, all the way.
So we had 7 loans in this area, and then all of a sudden we just started getting emails. Hey, this loan is pulled off for a moment. Well, it's on hold. And I'm like, for what? And they're like, for fire. I'm like, I don't know how to deal with fire. I can't solve fire. And they're like, all right, cool. We got one is that way. All right, we got another. We got another. We got another. We got another. And we're just sitting there going, what do we do? And the banking industry kind of knew. They waited, and we funded all 7 of them. So it was a very, very, very strange situation.
Always.
Oh, doesn't that know the time frame?
Always.
I think the cat's getting a divorce.
He's
I don't know
crying
what to
for
do.
sure.
He's crying. He might keep getting a divorce. What do I do? Okay, so yeah, tell me about the FEMA disaster. I think that's Houston, right? Tell me about it, Emily.
Yeah. Hello, Lacrosse. We already answered your question about you trying to sell without your husband knowing, but good luck.
Yeah.
Jesus de la Torre. How much money saved up do I need as a first-time home buyer and credit score?
So, Jesus, by the numbers, by the guidelines, your credit score has to be 580 or better. It's really hard to get a 580 approved right now because lending's tight. They call it tight, meaning that if you're 580, they're like, yeah, you can get in the door, but you're probably not there. Yeah, a 580 is really tight. So, technically, 580. Ideally, high 6s, low 7s. Ideally. And then, what was the other one? How much money saved? 3.5% down. So if you're buying a $100,000 house, $3,500. $200,000 house, $7,000. $300,000 house, $10,500. So just keep going up from there. $400,000, $14,000. Just 3.5%, no matter what, across the board. Pretty simple.
Yeah, Lacrosse said yes, she owns, and her husband's on the deed.
Well,
But she wants to sell without him knowing.
Yeah, that's a little dirty, Lacrosse. You can't. So if you kind of both own something, then newsflash, you kind of both own it. Yeah, you can actually list the property without your spouse knowing. You can't. I don't know why. I know you can't. You cannot sell the property without the spouse knowing.
Don't look at that for sale sign in the yard.
That's been my experience. I've seen a lot of people try and sell the house under their spouse without them knowing. There's a big legal world called title and escrow. So title ensures that there's no clouds on the title, that you have a clean chain of title. If you have somebody disputing the sale, title's not going to sign off on it. And if they don't sign off on it, it's a no-go.
All of you that have questions, hang in there. We're going to get to every single one of you. If you're interested in getting started, just go to the link in the bio, select apply for a home loan now, and start the process. Live, love, laugh. How soon can you take out another loan after purchasing? I'm trying to invest as soon as possible after buying a house.
Day one day after, immediately. So you will have to disclose that you have a mortgage, because it's probably not going to show up for 30, 60, 90 days, something like that. But immediately, any good loan officer is going to go, all right, do you have any mortgage? You should tell them, I just want you to know I funded my house and it's not showing up. All right, cool. How much is the payment? $2,000. All right, cool. I'll factor that in. Send me the paperwork. Cool. Factored that in. You're still qualified. Good to go.
Yeah. LaCrosse said he's the only one on the deed.
He's only one on the deed. Well, then you don't own the
trying
house.
to sell his house?
Yeah, you don't own the house. LaCrosse, man, you getting this is turning into a soap opera right here, LaCrosse. You're like, hey, maybe I can sell my husband's house without him knowing, and then he'll just get kicked out.
Yeah, like, hey, here's all your money. I don't know what happened to your house.
I don't know. I mean, it's still there, but there's another family living in it. They got a big dog
Ask
too.
him if you could stay.
Yeah, he's a cop. I wouldn't. Maybe he'll rent you a room.
Jay, hey guys, I'm buying a house and moving to Tennessee. I'd like to get your guys' rates. Where do I go?
Jay, very simple. You can go to us, which is the best way, or you can go to the link at the top of our bio and you click cool stuff and today's rates, and you'll see the rates. They're 5.75 for VA, FHA, 15-year, and then 30-year conventional 6.25. But you have to look at the APR because there's a buy down inside of that.
Yeah. Mitchell Rivas said Messi or Ronaldo.
I go Messi right now. Gotta go Messi.
He hits my radar the most, so I'm going Messi too.
Yeah, he's a cool cat. Yeah.
You met him? You went to lunch with him?
No, yeah, we kick it like that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Jan Johnson, thank you for the love.
Appreciate you, John.
68. They are all ready to send you guys a text message, and one of the numbers you guys showed me, I'll be looking. Okay, cool.
All right, cool. We're here for you.
Nia, hello. What's best? Lock your rate or leave it open till after construction?
Nia.
That one's special.
That's a very, very, very unique situation. And that's a tough question, but it's actually going to be solved for you mostly. Here's why. If your construction is going to be completed in 30 days, well, then you're a normal loan. So you have a 30-day lock. But if your construction is going to be completed in 6 months, well, we don't know what the market's going to do in 6 months. It could go up or it could go down. Here's the problem with lock, and everybody thinks this, but as a loan officer, you know you can't, except for brokers. Occasionally they do this, but it's dirty. Once I lock a rate, let's just say I lock 7%. All right, 7%, no matter what happens. If the market goes to 10, I get 7. If the market goes to 5, I get 7 because it's locked. Everybody thinks, well, if it goes down, I'll just forget the lock and get a new one. It's not that simple. You can't just forget the lock. It's against the rules, against the law, and the thing that you would have to do is change loan officers, change banks. You can't even just change loan officers. You have to change banks because they have to honor the lock, because a lot of our business is based off of honoring your word. So if you locked at 7 and rates went down to 5, you kind of screwed yourself. But the banks usually protect that by saying, hey, if you're going to lock longer than 30 days, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So let's just say I want to do a 90-day lock. Well, a 90-day lock will be at 7%, but it's going to cost me $5,000 extra because I'm willing to hold it for 90 days. Wait a minute. I'm going to pay $5,000 extra, and if the market goes down, I'm stuck with that 7%. Yeah, that's the rules. That's how it works. If it's longer than 6 months, I've not seen a 6-month or longer lock. And even if you did the one-time construct, you're like, hey, I'm going to do the one-time construct. All right, cool. The construction loan starts at prevailing rates. So let's just say prevailing rates for a construction loan are currently 9%. Just call it that. So your construction loan is going to be at 9%. And then when the final takeout loan comes in, the FHA, the VA, USDA, Fannie Mae, or Freddie Mac comes in, whatever the prevailing rates are of that day, that's the rate you're going to get. You don't get to choose, oh, I liked the rates 6 months ago. I really want to go with those. You don't get to choose that. You have to make the decision in the moment. So the biggest question is, how long till you get certificate of occupancy? That's the big one. And remember that there's probably going to be delays. So hope that helped you.
Yeah. Todd, 800 credit score. Fantastic. $150,000 per year. Badass. What am I qualified for? Todd, take a second and watch your inbox blow up right now. Because all the ladies watching with that 800 and that income.
They're gonna be like, hey, Todd, you single?
Top 1%.
If you're not single, is your wife with you like at this moment? Because maybe
not.
not.
I think he's flexing in his picture.
He's like flexing. He's like, hey, I got 800 FICO.
You know,
800 FICO. Well, Todd, if you have an 800 FICO score, you already know. You already know. People who have 800 FICO scores are really good at what's going on. But I'll tell you what you already know. You're busting 650 easy. Probably 750 all day, every day with an 800 FICO score. All day, every day.
And if you don't have a lady to put in that house, you're about to have one.
Yeah, they're going to show up. They're like,
watch it.
Hey, you got a good credit score? How you doing, Todd?
Oh, guess what?
How you doing? What?
Time for a commercial.
Oh, hey, if you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. You can reach your badass loan officers, Chris and Lee, at New American Funding by calling the numbers on the screen. But don't call right now because we won't answer. Why? Because we're live on Instagram and on TikTok, and we can't answer because our phones are tied up. But after we're done being live, you could text us or call us. We will talk with you and teach you how to get a house. This will disappear in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys, load up that chat box. We're going to get to every single one of you. Ashley, thank you for the love. TITS, thank you for the love. Christopher Carter, thank you for the love. Lacrosse said no. He's on the deed with me.
Okay. All right, Lacrosse, this is getting good, man.
I'm on the loan. You guys are mean.
You guys are who?
You didn't tell us that.
Lacrosse. We're not trying to be mean. We're not. But I really have had people try and sell their house from underneath their husband. Yeah. So my question is, Lacrosse, we don't want to be mean. Not at all. Not even a little bit.
He might want to.
I'm sometimes a little mean, but I don't mean to be. I'm just being factual. Why are you not telling the husband you're selling the house? You're calling me mean, but I'm sure there's a really good reason why you're not telling your husband you're selling his house.
We're the mean ones?
No. Don't say that. Don't be mean. There's probably a good reason. It could be the husband's incapacitated. That's real. It could be the husband passed, which is a different answer. Because then we need a death certificate. That's easy. Yeah, it's pretty simple. But there's a reason, and I'm being accused of being mean. So I'm trying to be nice,
regularly,
nice, not mean,
daily.
Nice. So just Lacrosse, I'm gonna do this. Give me a second. Let me create an atmosphere. Lacrosse, why are you selling the house without telling your husband? All right, answer that. We'll go forward.
That was me playing violin. Nia said Lacrosse. I don't know, laughing. Revelation's coming.
What's up, Revelations? We appreciate you.
Lee Josh said the same thing. Angel, can I get out of my PMI?
Maybe.
What is PMI?
Yeah, PMI, private mortgage insurance. Okay? So, most loans have PMI. USDA have something called GI. But everything except for a VA loan has PMI of some sort. Okay? So, if you have a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, the PMI can fall off at about 80% LTV. A little complicated. It's not so straightforward. But it falls off at 80% LTV. If you got your FHA loan within the last 10 years and you put 3.5% down, your MI's for life. MI's for life. 0.55 for life. If you got an FHA loan and you put more than 10% down, it will fall off at 11 years. There's your answer.
There you go. Bridget. Put down at least 20%, she said.
Yep, done.
Yeah,
Easy,
that's
just
the other
done.
thing.
Yep.
Are you buying? Are you refinancing? Because like you said, if
Yep.
you're refinancing, you have enough equity, boom, we can take that out.
Claudette Sanchez says no float down option. So you can. There is a ability to pay for a float down option. So what's a float down option? Good question. Very good. I'm glad you asked that, Claudette. Very glad you asked that. So let's just say I locked you for 90 days. 7%. Okay? And let's just say that 90 days cost you $5,000. Okay? But you said, well, what if rates go down? I'm like, well, it's kind of the rules, but we do have an option. It's called a float down option. It's going to cost you an extra $2,000. Would you like to buy it? Well, what is it? Well, in the event that rates go from 7 down to 5 in the next 90 days, you can exercise that float down option and take that 5% rate. But it's not free. You're going to pay for it. Like, well, Lee, is that a good idea? Well, the difference between a 7% cost monthly and a 5% cost monthly is probably $300. So, if it did go from 7 to 5, it would break even in just a little over a year. Or under a year, actually. Under a year.
Yeah. Plus, pay attention, guys.
Yeah.
The Fed has already put out the data that they're going to be reducing rates. The likely what's Vegas saying about it? I think it's pretty high.
September.
That
Yeah, it's
gonna be
80%.
happening
It's at 82%
at
in
least
September.
0.25.
Yeah.
There's an argument for 0.5.
Yeah.
There's a little argument,
Yeah.
but 2.25 is coming. Down the road, it's going to be better anyway.
So,
locking,
Claudette,
not a good move.
yes, you can do a float down option, but it is not free. There is no free. Those banks do not build those giant glass, beautiful buildings by doing things for free. It's always a cost. I don't own the bank. I work for the bank. So I know the rules, and I know how to bend them like an artist.
Christopher Carter, how long after BK can I get a home loan?
Christopher Carter, you can get one day after if you want, as long as you got cash. But if you want to finance, after a BK, well, let's just say you BK 13'd. You don't even have to finish the BK. You could be right in the middle of the 2-year BK. Made all your payments on time, and I get you a house. Why? Because a BK 13 is responsible repayment of debt. Means that, hey, I got myself over my head, Your Honor. I just want to rebuild this so I don't have to pay $3,000 a month. I want to pay $2,000 a month. Your Honor says, I believe you. Here you go, $2,000 a month. You do a certain amount of payments, I can finance you while you're in BK 13. Now, BK 7 said, Your Honor, I bought a wave runner, a boat, a couple of quads, and a timeshare. And I just don't want these anymore. Think it's screwed up. Your Honor, I just want to walk away from everything. Your Honor says, that's not very responsible of you. That's kind of screwed up to the system. But if I don't do something, you're going to do it anyway and screw everybody over. So, I'm going to drop the gavel. Boom. You no longer owe for the boat and the wave runner and the timeshare and whatever. But the banks aren't going to lend you any money for at least 2 years. Sometimes 4, sometimes 7. So, most of the time the answer is 2 years for a BK7. Most of the time. But sometimes it can be 4.
Angel, a refinance was put into a mortgage with PMI, and I want to get out of it.
All right, Angel.
What did you do? You did a cash out? That's what it seems like.
We want to help you, Angel.
Why did you refinance, Angel?
Angel, answer the question. Angel, answer the question.
Here's the other thing, guys. PMI, mortgage insurance, everyone looks at it like it's the enemy. Everyone looks at it like, how do I get out? I don't want that. Well, if you have less than 20% down, you're going to have it. So it's a trade-off. So put 20% down. Don't have it, or don't put 20% down and have it. I like it. I think it's a good thing because it gives you an opportunity. I don't know if there was ever a time that existed where you needed to put 20% down. There might have been back in the day, and I think that is too big of a hurdle for a lot of people, especially today with the cost of everything and saving money is a little impossible. So PMI, not the enemy. It's just an option.
D says, how does NAF cash loan work? That's a good question, D.
Where'd you hear about that?
Yeah, sounds like you're setting me up for a freaking slam dunk right here. So here's what it works. First, you qualify to get a house. All right, cool. So I qualify you for $500,000. You're qualified for $500,000. All right, cool. But I'm getting beat by everybody that's a cash buyer. All right, I'm going to send you through underwriting. I'm going to send you through a special NAF cash program. All right, so now Underwriter digs in, tears everything apart, make sure you actually work, make sure you actually qualify for $500,000, tears everything they possibly can, and says you're qualified for NAF cash.
Boom.
Now, you go out shopping for that $500,000 house. You're not putting an offer with a $500,000 loan that could get qualified. The bank, NAF, New American Funding, will say, hey, my buyer over here wants that house. Here's $500,000. You want it? Like, no finance or anything? You don't worry about it. You see $500,000 in cash right in front of you, right? You want it? I guess I do. All right, cool. Then take the $500,000. I'm taking ownership, NAF. NAF's taking ownership. So NAF now owns the house. Now, NAF finances you, and now you own the house. Like literally there's two transactions. There's one transaction where NAF drops the cash off, and they say, here's $500,000 in unmarked bills. They don't really say unmarked bills, but here's $500,000. And then NAF owns the property for a little bit, up to 30 days, I think it is.
No, you can go longer than that. I have one that's 3 months in.
Okay, 3 months, you go up to 3 months. So NAF will actually own the property, and whoever's financing will go, cool, I get to move in for free. No, you got to rent it during that time while you're getting to purchase it. So, NAF.
This works in two different scenarios, guys. In two different scenarios. One, to sync the purchase, because you're trying to get that purchase and you want them to buy cash. The other one is if you own a property that's not moving fast enough. Let's say you got some houses right down the road that just went up for sale, but you're like, shit, we haven't sold our house yet. Okay, so you can buy this house cash while your house is still being sold. So it works in those two different scenarios. And the one that I'm dealing with right now, that's 3 months, is because it took them a long time to sell their house. But they got the home of their dreams because they were able to buy it cash, and they're just going to refinance it down the road.
Lacrosse says he won't let me move out, and I want a divorce. Lacrosse.
It's a lot of reasons.
There's a lot of reasons, no doubt about it. So here's the thing: when you're dealing with property, the legalities of the property, it's not so simple. It's not so simple. But I will tell you this: if you filed a divorce and you got a good divorce attorney, the divorce attorney is going to go, all right, cool. Do you guys own this as separate and several property? If you don't, then the divorce is going to go, all right, you are either going to have to pay Lacrosse out or sell the house. So then you're not selling it without him knowing, because he don't want to show up one day like, hey, my key doesn't work, honey. How come my key doesn't work? Because you don't own the home no more. They kind of don't allow that in the system. It's just not favorable. Yeah.
For the other millions of you watching, don't get married.
Damn.
It's easier that way.
Dude.
Well, ask her. Would you do it again? She'd probably say no.
Yeah.
She said there is equity in the home, and I want to leave.
All right. It sounds, that's called a domestic situation. I don't deal with domestic situations. I deal with getting people loans, getting people into properties.
All right, Christopher Carter. So Christopher Carter is asking a different question now. Can I get a home loan after a dismissal of a BK? Which means the BK started but never finished for whatever reason. So can he?
Yes. So what that means is, hey, once you're invoking the system, you're like, hey, Your Honor, you went in front of a judge. Your Honor, you do with paperwork. I can't pay for my wave runner and my boat, and life just sucks. So I would like to file BK7. So that means you just started it, BK7. But Your Honor says, okay, you got to come in front of the court and tell me how you can afford it. You got to show me your assets, show me everything, and give me a story. And Your Honor is either going to say, all right, I'm going to allow you to go BK7, in which case you're dismissed, or, what does he say?
It's dismissed.
Dismissed. No. Discharged. I'm sorry. Discharged means you went all the way through the BK7, and they got rid of the waiver and they got everything, and everybody took their write-offs, and that's discharged. So from that discharge date, not the first day when you filed, but the discharge date starts the 2-year process for FHA, 4-year for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, 3-year for USDA, a few others. So that's discharged. But let's say you started it. You say, hey, Your Honor, I can't pay for the boat and the wave runner. And then about 3 months in, you're like, you know what? This is kind of screwed up. I'm going to figure out how to pay for it. Your Honor, I don't want to do this no more. I know I started the process, but Your Honor, I don't want to do this no more. Can you please dismiss the case? Your Honor says, you sure you don't want to do this? Yep. Cool. Dismissed. Now, it can't act like it never happened because you filed the paperwork. But he can say, halfway through, don't worry about it. So once we see dismissed, no timeline's affected.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Chris. Jill Butler, I'm trying to raise my credit to buy a home. What are the best tips for raising credit to be approved?
Jill,
Approved.
real simple. Pay your bills on time. Don't overextend yourself. That's it.
Boom.
Yeah. We got some hacks to get your credit score up.
Boom.
But if credit has they have history.
Yep.
It doesn't have memory.
Nope.
But it has history.
Yep.
So when I look at it and I go, hey, you know what the most powerful thing to get a good credit score is? 10 years of paying your bill on time.
Yeah.
So if I have history of 10 years of paying this on time, I'm going to get a good credit score.
Yeah.
But if I just started paying my bills on time last month, they're like, yeah, we don't know what your history is. We won't know for 10 years.
Yeah.
Now, there is a small hack where you can go, hey, mother, father, I'm your son here. You love me very much. Yeah, what do you want? Nothing really. That means something. Okay, can you put me on your credit card that you've been paying on time and you have an 800 FICO score? Why would I do that? Because I want to buy a house and I need to get my credit score up fast. All right. So let's just say I did that and it's got an $80,000 credit line. What are you going to do with that $80,000 credit line? Nothing. In fact, when the credit card comes in, you can have it. You can shred it. I'll never use it. All I want to do is be an owner or authorized user, because once I do that, credit doesn't have a memory. It doesn't remember that you didn't have this yesterday. It does show the history. So now you get a history of 10 years of your parents paying it on time because you are an owner or authorized user, and that line now shows up on you. Spike your credit 60 to 80 points fast.
Yeah. Claudette Sanchez says, date the rate, buy the home.
I don't know if I like that.
Well, it's date the rate, marry the home.
Yeah, that's a bunch of crap.
That's
Claudette.
what realtors say.
Yeah, I know.
That's what real estate agents say.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, Claudette. If you're a realtor, I understand that. So they like to put it out there and make these cute little euphemisms so that you can explain it to the public. But if you really look at that, it's a way to try and sell a house. The truth of the matter is, if somebody's not really happy about the house, they shouldn't be buying it. If they're not ready, they shouldn't be buying it. You can't talk a person into buying a house. They have to be ready. So Claudette, I actually said that for a long time, and then as I dug in a little bit deeper, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm not on this path anymore. So I get it, Claudette. There's a lot of realtors out there, but loan officers kind of stay away from that.
Yeah, but it is a thing. It is a thing because, like, people know this, people. For most people that have bought houses in the past, it took them 10, 15 years down the road to refinance to get a better rate.
Yeah.
Okay? We're looking at better rates in the near future. We're looking at better rates as close as September. Not big drops. But in the next 2 to 3 years, could be significant drops. So that is a version of marry the house, date the rate. Although I don't want to put the data out that way because it's silly.
Yeah.
It's for real
So
estate agents.
what's the underwriting process? Marry somebody. So we're called loan originators. That technically our term is loan originators, licensed loan originators. So we originate a loan, which means we pull your credit, check your income, check your assets, build a file, and then we send it to an underwriter. The underwriter does way more than we do. They're going to call your employer. They're going to say, hey, does John Doe still work here? When did he start? He says he makes $42 an hour. Is that true? He says he's got 16 hours in overtime every 2 weeks. Is that true? The underwriter's going to go deep in that. That's called a VOE, verification of employment. They don't always call. There's an actual electronic way to do it, but they're doing that. Next thing you're going to do, you gave me your 1040, and you said, hey, this is how much I made in 2022, and this is how much I made in 2023. And all I did was say, thank you very much. I believe you. Calculate that income. The underwriter's going to go, I see it, but I don't believe it. Hey, Mr. IRS, yeah, John Doe just applied for a loan here, and they showed me that they made $100,000 in 23. What did they tell you? IRS says, hey, let me send you what they sent me. And they're going to go, cool, this is what they sent the loan officer. This is what they sent the IRS. Do they match up? Yes. All right, cool. We can move forward. I don't do that. And we don't not allowed to. So there's a lot of things you can do out there. Like, for instance, you would tell me, I would say pull your credit, and I didn't see any bankruptcies on it. None at all. Not even one. Not one bankruptcy. Cool. I didn't ask because, well, actually I did ask during the process. And let's just say you forgot to tell me you filed for bankruptcy. Well, the underwriter is going to pull something called Cavers and an SI. We don't do that. And inside of Cavers and SI, they're going to go, hey, this person has a bankruptcy. I'm going to say, it doesn't show up on the credit report. Yeah, that's because you hired a credit reporting agency to get rid of it through the law, but it didn't get rid of it on the back end. Underwriters do a lot of stuff. They're actually doing good for the system, but they make our life really hard sometimes. Really hard. And we're on your side. We want to fund a loan. The underwriter kind of is on your side too. They just want to make sure they don't get lied to. So that's what an underwriter is.
All right, guys, give us the hearts. We need those hearts. We're going to get to every one of your questions. If you're interested in getting a home loan, go to the link in the bio, select apply for a home loan now. Angel said yes, she did a cash out. She took the money and put it back into the house.
All right.
So two things, Angel, two things. We may be able to refinance you to get rid of that mortgage insurance, but you're going to have to refinance. But here's the thing. Rates are going down in the future. Rates are a little high right now. So it'd be my recommendation to wait a little bit, pay that mortgage insurance for the next, I don't know, maybe couple of years until we get to the lowest rates. I'll refi you right now, but know this, the rates are going to go down in the future. So if you want to talk about it, give us a call. Truth be told, hello, do they have grants for women to buy a house?
Truth be told, oh God, I'm going to try and be nice. I'm going to try and be nice with this. I'm going to try and be nice with this. Very nice with this. Truth be told, the very fact that you're asking the question hurts my soul as a loan officer. Here's why. If somebody came up to me and said, hey, I'm not 7 years old. Is there something wrong with me getting a 30-year mortgage? I would say that would be called age discrimination, and it is illegal, and banks will go to jail for it. That's what they say anyway. So I cannot discriminate on your age. I cannot discriminate on whether you're a woman or a man, or whether you change in the middle. I cannot discriminate. I quite frankly don't give a shit. Because all I want to do is fund a loan, move on. That's it. I want to fund a loan, get you a house, make a commission, move on. So, for just women, no.
But I can tell you we can do teacher and nurse loans.
Dude, yeah. No, there are male nurses. There's also a male teacher, I think, somewhere in Nebraska.
Jill Butler, thank you for the love. Lady D, how do you buy and hold? Do you do buy and hold? I have a deal that just fell through.
Lady D.
She's looking for someone to shovel that house off to.
I guess. I'm like, you want to buy and hold it? You want to sell and release? I don't know. Are you offering me to buy your house? Are you trying to get me to buy your house? Or are you trying to get the bank to go, hey, yeah, by all means, I'll buy it and hold it for you for about 2-3 years. Then you can come back and take it over. I don't know what you're asking, Lady D.
Lady D, if you're a real estate agent, reach out to us.
Yeah, reach out to us.
Fat Chicks Rocks is back. How
What's
you been?
up? Hello, fellas. We're here for you.
Howdy.
Fat Chicks Rocks.
All right, Lacrosse, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Never gonna get married again.
Hell no. Lacrosse says, I'm the mean one. Lacrosse, you call me mean. You're like, hey, psst, I want to sell my house, but I don't want to tell my husband. I'm like, you want to do what? Don't be mean.
Marriage is not for everyone. If you want to do it, I'm happy for you, but it is not for everyone.
Yeah.
And Rajvinder said, the single life.
Yeah, Rajvinder's in the house. We dig Rajvinder. Rajvinder's so badass.
Jay Sando, thank you for the love. Freddie Fox, marriage is everything, my guy.
All
for
right.
Some people,
yeah.
it's their identity.
If it works, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
People need it.
Freddie Fox. Freddie Fox says marriage is everything.
Jay, thanks, guys. I want to rent out my house in the high desert. Any good property management companies you guys recommend?
So the high desert, there's a lot of high deserts across the country. Are you thinking Arizona is a high desert?
That's a high desert?
Yeah, they call it high desert. And inside of Nevada, high desert, yeah. There's a spot in Nevada called the high desert. But I'm thinking Hesperia, Oak Hills, Victorville,
like Las
Phelan.
Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's different high deserts. But if you're thinking Victorville, Hesperia, Phelan, that kind of stuff, then let's talk.
Hey, Anwar, can I use bank statements to prove income?
All day long, all day, every day, but you're not a regular conventional conforming loan. There's actually a different loan called a bank statement program. Get that. That's high tech, right? If you want to use bank statements, there's something called a bank statement program. And here's how it works. Hey, Anwar, what you would do is say, here's 24 months of me dropping 20 grand a month in every month without fail. I'm going to go, cool, let me check that out. Yep, that is 24 months of you dropping in 20 grand without fail. The simple version is I'm going to cut that in half. Your income's 10 grand a month. Now I move forward.
Yeah. Darwin's Revenge. What gives me more buying power? Paying off $20,000 in back taxes or using that $20,000 down?
Well, Darwin's Revenge.
That sounds like a ride at Knott's Berry Farm.
If it does, huh? Darwin's Revenge, dude.
There was something like that.
I like it. So
Montezuma's Revenge.
if you have, that's different.
Montezuma's, no, it's not that kind of
So
Montezuma.
if you owe $20,000 of back taxes, you can't get a loan unless you've already entered into a offer installment agreement. And if you're entered into an offer installment agreement, putting any more money towards that is not going to help you very much unless it pays it off in full and it was a very high monthly payment. So maybe not even using 20 towards the down. There might be better ways to do it. It might be using that 20 towards buying down the rate or planning for the rates to go lower and saving that 20 to buy down when the time comes.
Well, traditionally, using $20K towards debt rather than down payment is bigger bang for the buck. It gets you more buying power. Usually. Not every time, but usually. Fat Chicks Rock, give us 5 somethings. Awesome.
We appreciate you, Fat Chicks Rock.
Rajvinder, thank you for sharing the live. Guys, hearts and shares. We like those. That helps us. Darwin's Revenge. What gives me more buying power? We already read that one.
Yep.
Mary, what makes someone qualified for FHA but not conventional?
Mary,
Easy.
very simple.
Easy.
Oh my God, that's so simple.
Easy.
It's so simple, it's insane. Oh my God. So, if you had a 580 FICO, you don't qualify for conventional.
Nope.
Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they're like, nope.
Nope.
They'll turn their nose up like,
Snobs.
We don't even take these people. FHA will be like 580. 580. Come on in. Come on in. We'll help you out. Come on in.
Yep.
It's not that easy though.
Yep.
580 is a tough score to get through right now. About 3 years ago, all day, every day. But right now, 580 is really tough. But that's going to be the main factor.
Yep.
There's a lot of other factors if you want to know about them, ask.
If you have a 620 or better FICO score today, I could say you're qualified. Back in the day, it used to be 580, but today it's 620. So if you have a 620 and you're interested in buying a house, go to the link in the bio, select apply for a home loan now. Raj Vendor said, can we get my file ready to attack?
Damn! You just freaking... Was that a 12 gauge or a 20 gauge?
What is it, Raj Vendor? Better be 12. 20 gauges are for girls.
20 gauges are for girls.
Yeah, absolutely, Raj Vendor. Let's do it. Give us a call. Ashley, shared the live. Someone with no name said, my builder is refusing to let me get a third-party inspector for my new build.
Dot. We're just going to call you Dot. Your builder is refusing. So, okay, so... All right, do we have time for this? I think we do, right? Okay.
Hold on, she said a little more.
Dot, okay.
They want to do it after and go through my warranty.
Okay, Dot. Yeah. You better get a pencil out and then a second backup pencil because you're going to need to take some notes. I'm going to teach you a little bit, and it's going to be entertaining as hell. And you're going to learn a lot from this, Dot, and there might be something you can do. So here's what happens. First off, builders are dirty birdie. They're dirty birdie. They're just trying to make a lot of money. I don't really hate them for it because, quite frankly, I might be a builder sometimes, but they're dirty birdie. They're trying to make as much money as they can. So you have to understand a little bit about the system. Here's how it works. If the builder builds a house for $300,000 and he sells it for $400,000, he's going to make $100,000 in profit. Sounds great, right? Sounds great. No, $500,000. Call 500. Easier math. So he builds it for $400,000, sells it for $500,000. He's making $100,000 in profit. $500,000 in our house. All right, cool. That sounds great. Awesome. But there's going to be a real estate commission on the front end and on the back end, and it's traditionally 3%. So what is 6% of $500,000? $30,000. So usually the listing agent will get $15,000. The buyer's agent will get $15,000. 5 times 3, 15. So that's going to be $30,000 for commissions. So the builder says, hey, I know I'm making $100,000, but I think I'd like to make $130,000. Here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to get a captive realtor. What's a captive realtor? A captive realtor is a realtor who couldn't make it in the market. They just couldn't get the commissions, get the clients, whatever. I'm not hating on them. It's just what it is. So captive realtors said, they say, hey, you're paying you an hourly rate and we'll give you a little bonus, but you're a captive realtor. So they no longer have to pay that commission to the selling agent because they have the selling agent. So they've got the $15,000 on the selling agent side. Now, how do they get the listing? The buyer's agent side. Here's how they do it. When you go, and everybody does this, even though we tell them not to, you go there on a Saturday and you're like, hey, I'm going to go tour a new build. And the new build says, hey, yeah, but we need you to sign in first. When you sign in, at the bottom of that paper, it's going to say, I hereby represent that I do not have a realtor. But now you're going to come back and say, but I did. I didn't meet. And they're like, no, you signed a contract. If you don't want this house, that's fine. We'll just give it to the next guy on the page. You're like, no. I'll use your realtor. So you voluntarily stepped away from your one person who could fight for you. You had no choice. Well, you did. A little dirty, but you did. So now the builder has you on the listing side and on the buyer side. So they represent both. And you're going to have to sign a piece of paper saying, hey, I represent both. But that captive agent, who's clueless most of the time, by the way, they're clueless because they're doing what their boss said. So that captive agent, now the builder is making the 30 grand on that side. But here's another part that you probably didn't know about. There's two sides to the loan officer side. Two sides. There's the acquisition side or the front end of the loan, which is what we do. We get the loan, fund the loan, processors, everything. The bank gives you the loan. But there's another side to the loan, and that's the back end or the servicing. Each one of those, just for easy math, is 3% and 3%. So another 30 grand. Guess what? They don't want you to use Chris and Lee. They don't want you to. Why? Because I know the game and I know how to beat them at the game. They want you to use their lender. Same scenario. They have a captive lender. And if they have that captive lender, they can make money on the front and the back by selling off that loan. So instead of making 100 grand, they now make 160 grand. But there's way more to this, way more. So when it came time, they're like, hey, you know what? We built a beautiful park for this new build. Beautiful park. But I don't want to pay for it out of my money. I'm going to make the buyer pay for it. How are they going to do that? With something called a special assessment. And you're going to get a special assessment on your mortgage payment that the guy across the street doesn't have. And you have a special assessment that can be very expensive, unbelievably expensive. And then they're going to sell it as if, hey, we're going to let you decide how you want your landscaping done. So we left it just blank for you to do whatever you want with it. No, they didn't spend 30 grand to do your landscaping for you. That's what happened. Then they're going to go, oh, by the way, we're going to protect you by not letting riffraff come into this community by charging you an HOA. HOAs can be very expensive. Now, after you move in, you're going to get this notice from an HOA that says, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. You have 3 months to get your yard in order. Wait a minute, I have 3 months? Yeah, you have 3 months. I might extend it a little bit, but you have 3 months. That's going to cost me 30 grand. No, it's going to cost you 50 grand. But you have 3 months to get it in. So the builders have so many ways. One of the ways of going, hey, listen, we've got a warranty company. We're not going to tell any that we put in a faulty air conditioner. And an inspector will catch it like that. But once you're in the house, you took possession. And they're going to try and file against the air conditioner guy. Or, hey, there's a crack in the foundation. Not if I put carpet over it. Once you're in, we're going to file against the insurance company. They're dirty birdies. So, hopefully, Dot, you have a good realtor. Because if you have a good realtor is going to know what to do. They're going to know how to muscle them in and make them honor their contract. But when it comes to builders, they're dirty birdies. And the only one who will really know how to decipher all this stuff is somebody in the business. I'm in the business, so I know. I know because I watch it all day. He bought a new build. He landed up in that situation. He's got a beautiful home, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful community, beautiful home, beautiful everything. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? He goes, I have to do concrete. You know how much concrete costs? I'm like, why do you have to do concrete? Because my HOA said I got to make my backyard fixed. I'm like, wait, what? No, yeah, I thought you were going to do it like this summer. I thought it was going to be a DIY for you and I. He's like, no, I got 3 months. I got to do it like right now. And so I got to write a check. And he wrote a big fat check, but I learned a big fat lesson. I know what they're doing. Boom. Dude, we're at 1 hour already?
Almost. Navy Mom Donna in the house.
What's up, Navy Mom Donna? Great to see you.
She said,
Great to see you.
in front of Orion.
In front of Orion. Oh, dude. That just hits me in the heart. I used to own a company called the Orion Group.
She's in Colorado?
In Colorado Springs. And I had a building. I had actually multiple buildings. I probably had 5. I had 5 different offices, just like here in the desert. I had 5 different offices of Orion, but I had one big one with a big, beautiful glass office. And yeah, so badass in front of Orion.
Lacrosse, LOL, love y'all.
We are here for you, Lacrosse.
Freddie Fox, LOL, you guys are great.
Appreciate you, Freddie Fox.
Fat Chicks Rock, FHA, how can you use the rent for the second unit in a 2-fam home to qualify if it's empty?
That's a good question, Fat Chicks Rocks. You take that.
Okay, so what you're going to have to do, here's what I'd recommend you do, okay? Because you have to figure out if that thing's going to debt service. So you have to debt service. You have to pay for the mortgage payment with your income and that second unit, but it's not that easy. Because you may think you can charge whatever you want in rent. I would go to Zillow, look at what Zillow says you can rent that unit for, and that's what the appraiser is going to come back with. Because they have to do something called a rent roll to figure out what the actual rents are and what's going to be given in that area, because every area is different. But every person has the idea of, I could charge $4,000 a month. I could charge $9,000 a month. No, it's going to be closer to like $900 a month.
It's the market. Rentometer will give you 3 free runs at it. Rentometer.com. They'll give you 3 free runs at it. I'm not endorsing them or anything. I just know that they'll let you do it 3 times and then they'll charge you $19 a month or whatever.
All right, dude, let's rapid fire.
Okay, cool. What do we got?
Vendor, what is the rate on the bank statement loan at this time?
Probably, if you got an 800 FICO, 9%. You go with that? Yeah, about 9%.
Darwin's Revenge, what is the buy-down rate?
What is the buy-down rate? Darwin's Revenge, if you're trying to, let's say that I bring you in and you have a good FICO and I bring you in at 7% at par. But you're like, hey, I don't really like that $3,000 a month payment. I want to be at $2,700. All right, cool. We can buy the 7% down to 6.75. It'll cost you $5,000, but now you're paying $2,700. Well, Lee, is that smart? Well, if it costs you $5,000 and you're saving $300 a month, at the end of 1 year, you'll have saved $3,600. Into the second year, it will have paid for itself. So, from a financial perspective, it's smart unless you're going to refi quicker than 2 years.
Sexy Blackson, hi guys.
What's up, Sexy
Raj Vendor, she's smart. She said 12 gauge.
Yeah, 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Damn.
TM Fish Lady, thank you for the love. Mary, can the underwriting step last for only 1 day, or does it normally take 2 weeks?
Mary, it's usually 48 hours or less, especially in this environment right now.
2 weeks means you have a problem.
Yeah, 2 weeks means you have a problem. Your loan officer's not telling you something.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
you got a problem.
Call them, they call us.
Yeah.
Claudette, any comment on the NAR settlement?
It's not settled yet. It keeps getting settled and then unsettled and then settled and then unsettled. I do know that VA had to make a real quick adjustment to their guideline because in the original VA guideline, it was illegal for a veteran to pay for the realtor. They have made an exception so that the veteran can pay for the realtor. I can tell you that in the upper West Coast, they didn't buy into the NAR settlement, and it's still messy and muddy and ugly, and the lawyers are getting rich.
Kim, who's your builder? Is it Lennar? LOL, I heard they're terrible.
Kim, we deal with all kinds of builders. We deal with all of them. Lennar is one of the harder ones. They really know the game. And to be honest, I'm fighting them. I'm really fighting them. And they're a worthy opponent because they know how to use the game. Whether it's good for the client or not is irrelevant. When I go in that arena, I got to go with everything I've got, man. I have my swords out. I'm ready with everything I got. I know the laws. I know how to fire at them this way and this way and this way. I will beat Lennar 60 to 70% of the time. Sometimes they win. They have one big move, but it costs them a lot of money. And that is they can just keep dropping the price if they use their lender. And they do it.
Rose Vigor, thank you for the love. Jay Dang, we got approved for $900K, but they want 20% down because it's bank statements. Is that true?
Probably right. Yeah, if it's a bank statement program, it's an alt QM. Most alt QM want 20% down. We might be able to get you one with 15% down, maybe, but you have to be kind of exceptional.
Yeah, Darwin's Revenge, you're welcome. If you guys are interested in getting a home loan, screenshot this or go to the link in the bio, select apply for a home loan now. Sign us out.
In the meantime, we've been Chris and Lee. We appreciate you. We will be back.